Q8965. How does the SDF differ from an ILS LOC? A. SDF 6 or 12 wide, ILS 3 to 6. B. SDF offset from runway +4, ILS aligned with runway. C. SDF 15 usable off-course indications, ILS 35. The correct answer is A. The SDF signal is fixed at either 6 or 12 degrees, depending on what is required to offer the best course quality and most fly capabilities. 9429. If receiver autonomous integrity monitoring, RAM, is not available when setting up for GPS approach, the pilot should A. Continue to the MAP and hold until the satellites are recaptured. B. Proceed as cleared to the IAF and hold until satellite reception is satisfactory. C. Select another type of approach using another type of navigation aid. The correct answer is C. RAM is a safety feature that helps to ensure the accuracy of GPS-based navigation. If RAM is not available, the pilot should not continue with the GPS approach. Instead, the pilot should select another type of approach that uses a different navigation aid, such as an ILS or VOR approach. Here are some additional details about RAM. RAM stands for Receiver Autonomous Integrity Monitoring. RAM is a safety feature that helps to ensure the accuracy of GPS-based navigation. RAM works by monitoring the GPS signal for errors. If RAM detects an error, it will alert the pilot. RAM is required for certain types of GPS approaches, such as Category 3 approaches. If you are a pilot, it is important to be familiar with RAM and how it works. You should also be prepared to select another type of approach if RAM is not available. 9430. Without receiver autonomous integrity monitoring, RAM, capability, the accuracy of the GPS derived? A. Altitude information should not be relied upon to determine aircraft altitude. B. Position is not affected. C. Velocity information should be relied upon to determine aircraft ground speed. The correct answer is A. RAM is a safety feature that helps to ensure the accuracy of GPS-based navigation. Without RAM, the accuracy of GPS-derived altitude information may be degraded. This is because GPS altitude information is based on the time it takes for a signal to travel from a GPS satellite to the aircraft. If there is an error in the GPS signal, this can lead to an error in the altitude calculation. For this reason, it is important to not rely on GPS-derived altitude information if RAM is not available. In this case, the pilot should use a backup navigation system, such as an altimeter, to determine aircraft altitude. Position and velocity information are not as sensitive to RAM errors as altitude information. Therefore, it is generally safe to rely on GPS-derived position and velocity information even if RAM is not available. 9431. Overriding an automatically selected sensitivity during a GPS approach will A. Cancel the approach mode enunciation. B. Require flying point-to-point on the approach to comply with the published approach procedure. C. Have no effect if the approach is flown manually. The correct answer is A. When a pilot overrides an automatically selected sensitivity during a GPS approach, the approach mode enunciation will be canceled. This is because the autopilot will no longer be able to follow the published approach procedure. The pilot will then need to fly the approach manually. It is important to note that overriding an automatically selected sensitivity during a GPS approach can be dangerous. This is because the pilot may not be able to fly the approach as accurately as the autopilot. If the pilot is not able to fly the approach accurately, the aircraft may not be able to land safely. For this reason, it is important to only override an automatically selected sensitivity during a GPS approach if it is absolutely necessary. If the pilot is not sure whether or not it is safe to override the sensitivity, they should consult with a qualified flight instructor. 9432. If a visual descent point (VDP) is published on a GPS approach, it A. will be coded in the waypoint sequence and identified using ATD. B. will not be included in the sequence of waypoints. C. must be included in the normal waypoint. The correct answer is B. If a visual descent point, VDP, is published, the series of waypoint will not contain it. Pilots are supposed to start the visual descent by using standard flying tactics.